What's going on YouTube? It's calsoscoped back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make your own NBA minis the easiest way. And just before the video starts, I want to say if you guys aren't following me on all social media platforms, whether it be Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff, subscribe, follow, hit the like button, all that good stuff. Let's hop into the tutorial, man. Alright guys, so I have this picture of Stephen Curry right here, and I'm going to be using him as the subject of this photo. To cut him out into a mask, I'm going to be using the pen tool. Now you can use select subject, lasso tool, whatever you want, but I like using the pen tool because it gives me the best results. So I think you guys should as well. So go with shortcut P in the pen tool. If you click and drag, you can turn the angles and all that type of stuff, and you're just gonna follow along the mask really neatly and really carefully. And once we have that, we'll move on to the next step. Let's do it. I'm just doing the hair. When you do the hair, just double click on your layer and then go to your feather brush tool right here, refine edge when you're in this window, and just go lightly over the hair. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but make sure it's clean and smooth. You don't want to have some weird choppy hair when you're doing a mini, and this mask isn't going to really be supported by his behind mask, so you don't want to have like a sloppy mask. And I usually put decontaminate colors on about 80, and there we go with our mask. And if you want to check it, add a layer beneath, add a solid color fill, and then just look at it from here and make any small adjustments that you want to make to the mask, and just work on the layer mask. Don't like start erasing on the actual layer. Don't do that, please. Just work on the layer mask. Alright, so my mask is all ready to go. What I'm gonna do now, next step right here, is we're gonna set the background. So this would be the background right here. We have the background or whatever, but we want to like exemplify on one part of the background. And I think this area right over here, if we zoomed in on this part, would be really cool. So I'm going to use this part as the background. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Ctrl C and copy my background to my clipboard. Then I'm going to go File, New, and I'm going to make my file 1080 by 1350, and I'm going to have it on resolution of 72 pixels per inch. Okay, so press Create after that. Boom. Now let's press Ctrl V, and now we have our background pasted in here, and just zoom into this spot right over here. We're gonna zoom in. I think that's pretty cool right there. Try not to zoom in so far, because the more and more you do, you're gonna lose pixels. So try and zoom into a part that's just like relatively the right size, you know, just something that's right around this. Don't zoom in too much. Okay, so another thing that I notice on minis is like when you do, so say if I wanted to make this a mask and I just put it in here, right? So you can make this happen right here and just then play off of this as the mask. But what I want to show you guys is that you should probably what you should probably do, instead of like right away going and shrinking him down, we're gonna actually mask out different parts of the body, so that when we paste it on, we're not gonna lose a lot of resolution for when we resize it down and then try to make new layers out of that. So the things that you want to probably pay attention to on a mini are, you want to make the feet bigger, you want to make the hands a little bit bigger, and you also want to make the head a little bit bigger, right? So right now it looks like okay, it looks fine, I guess, but what you want to do is make the head a little bigger, hands and feet. So it takes a lot of extra time, but that's what we're gonna do. Let's mask out the head, the hands, and the feet so that we can make the best mini possible. And what I'm going to use is the pen tool once again, and I'm just going to make a couple of duplicate copies. So we got the head, hands, feet. So I got 3 extra layers right over here. So I'm just going to name this head, hands, feet. And when you're doing the mask, don't worry about making them soft or anything like that, because we can soften them after. So right now, let's go ahead and just make really careful mask of the head, hands, and feet. When you're doing the head, get a little bit down to the neck as well, so that we can be sure we have enough to soften things out and erase things out softly, okay? For the feet, I'm going foot 1 and then foot 2, because they're kind of separated. So I'm gonna go foot 1 and foot 2. It's gonna make it easier for when I'm trying to resize them. All right, and just like that, we have all our components. So if I were to take this off, there's the head, hands layer, foot 1, foot 2, and this is curried together. So now let's merge this all together into one group. So you're gonna click to the top layer, hold down shift, and click to the bottom layer that you're gonna use in this. Then press Ctrl G to make a group. I'm just gonna call this curry parts. That's kind of weird, but oh well. And now we're gonna press Ctrl C and we're gonna copy it onto our new layer. Okay, so now we have all curry parts that we need. All right. So when you want to move this stuff around, you can't like just move things around separately. Try to move it as a group until you get the placement that you want right. So I think right here, or right about, I don't know, right there. I think that right there looks pretty cool. So let's do that. Let's have it right there for right now. And now we can move the parts separately. So now it's the smart object, so I can move this part up by itself. All right, so press Ctrl T and we're gonna resize the head. We'll make it around that size for now. Don't worry about the other parts, like I said before, just keep it like this, maybe a little bit smaller. This head is huge. We'll keep it like right there for now. Then just make the hands a little bigger as well. All right, so on the hands, I'm gonna actually duplicate the hands, and I'm gonna go hand 1, hand 2, just like I did the feet, because I'm noticing I should separate these two. It's gonna make it easier. So hand 1 is going to be the right hand, and then hand 2 is going to be the left hand. All right. So hand 1, let's resize that as well. Just make it bigger, like that. Don't worry, we're gonna make everything come together after, so it's not gonna be hanging parts. So just resize everything and just over exaggerate to your liking. Just make it to your liking. It doesn't have to be to anybody else's, man. Just have fun with this. This is just supposed to be fun. Foot 1, resize the feet as well. I like to make the, well, this is my first one I'm doing, but I think that making the feet bigger will look really funny and cool. So I'm making the feet pretty large. All right, put foot 1 behind foot 2 behind foot 1, and I'm just gonna resize the head down a little bit more. And then now on the head as well, I'm going to go to filter, liquefy. All right, this is like just some extra sauce. All right, filter, liquefy on the head. And what I'm gonna do here is use my, my bloat tool. And I'm gonna make the eye a little bit bigger with my bloat tool, like that. Okay, I'm gonna make the eyes a little bit bigger, and also maybe the nose. Just exaggerating some parts of his face as I see fit. Okay, press OK, and see that's too much. So I'm gonna go back in and just play around again, but not make it as large. So once you're like situated and you feel like you have everything in the placement that you want it to be at, what we're gonna do is, one sec. What we're gonna do next is we're going to make the layers into actual just layers, not just objects, like some objects with layer mask. We're gonna merge them together. So you're just gonna right click on your layers and convert them to smart objects again. Once you have everything situated and you're like, all right, I'm ready, make them smart objects. And don't worry, you could go into these theoretically if you wanted to after and readjust, but this is so like when we do adjustments now, all we have to worry about is the hand, or just like the layer that we have. You might have to press it twice on them, because for some reason it leaves behind the layer mask sometimes, and I don't know why, but it just does that. So you might have to make them smart objects 2 times. Okay, now this step is sort of up to you, but kind of you want to follow a certain pattern. So what you can do now, like, see how this is like parts are hanging off, like the arms hanging off, the foot's like way too big, stuff like that. So what we can do in this case is we can go into liquefy again. So go to filter, liquefy, and we're gonna put our show backdrop. Make sure your show backdrop is checked on. Then we're gonna go to our curry mask copy, and we're gonna see, let's see here, our curry mask, and we're gonna be able to see what areas are actually hanging off, and we can actually move this stuff with the forward warp tool at first. So we can just move that on there. See, just like that, we move it on there, and now it looks like way better than before. So we preview it and it looks better than before. And also what you can do is just add a slight layer mask on it. So we're gonna hit that layer mask icon right down here, and then we're just gonna use our black brush, drop our flow down, and just soft brush this in so our hand looks normal. And then we're gonna just copy this, do the same process with every part of his body. So remember that we're going to go into liquify. I'll just show it again. Filter, liquify, show backdrops turned on. We're gonna go to our mask that we use for the mini mask. We're gonna use our forward warp tool and move things together. Make sure these align. See those veins aligning? Very nice. That's what we want to see. Press OK. Then we're gonna use a layer mask and just soft brush things. Make it blend in better, right? Make it blend in better, just like that. And yeah, so we're gonna do that process for all of them. Let's do it. With this shoe right here, all I have to do is just soft brush this out because I'm pretty sure his foot's behind, so we just gotta do that. Make his foot behind. Nothing crazy there. We don't even have to liquefy it because it's behind, unless you want to liquefy this part, but that's up to you. I think it looks fine just like that. Maybe move it over a little bit, like actually, and then I just have to bring some of this mask back, just like that. All right, and then our last piece is the head. All right, guys, look at what we got here. We got our mini almost done, guys. So what you're gonna do from here is merge this group together now. So we're gonna right click, convert to a smart object. Now we have our group together, boom. And we're gonna press Ctrl J because we're gonna make a shadow now, a reflection. So I'm gonna take my reflection, I'm gonna put my curry parts copy down, and I'm going to name this to curry floor reflection. And while I'm at it, I'm just gonna make another duplicate, and this is gonna be the curry shadow. All right, so let's work on the reflection first. I'm just gonna put it in blue, and what I'm gonna do is press Ctrl T. Then I'm gonna flip it vertically, right? And then right there, we have our reflection. Now, just move it ever so slightly, like that. All right, put it on screen. Screen will do the job. And then what you're gonna do with this reflection, you can use Gaussian blur if you want, but try and use blur gallery so you get a gradient of blur. And we're just gonna move this down here. We're gonna set it to what? 4. This next one is going to be 7, and the one on the outside is going to be whatever, 15. Okay, just like that. Okay, there goes your reflection. Now you're gonna right click this, go to blending options, and on your underlying layer, just hold down Alt, or I think it's Option on, no, what is it on the Mac? Bruh. Option on the Mac, and feather it out with the underlying layer like that, just like that, boom. And then if you want, you can add the shadow. I don't even know if this really needs the shadow, but you can add that extra sauce, right? So you can add a shadow behind him. So just right click, I right click and I press distort, and I'm on the top anchor point here. And I'm just gonna distort this shadow like this, boom. Put it down, just like that. And then I'm going to make a solid fill layer, right click on it, create the clipping mask to it, and I'm gonna get a color from the floor actually, and then go down on that color to like low saturation, right? Set this to let's set it to overlay just for this purpose. And with the shadow, I'm just gonna use a Gaussian blur, just like that, boom. Now you got a little shadow, and drop the opacity if you want, and you can even paint on some black to soften it at the end for that gradient effect. Okay, and then the last thing we're gonna do here, guys, is just add a slight shadow on Curry's feet. Okay, so put this layer mode on multiply, use your color picker tool, shortcut I, and pick a sample from the court. Okay, drop it down a little bit more, and now we're gonna go up here. Okay, go to your brush settings. B is your brush, but this little folder right here is your brush settings. See this right here? You're gonna drag this down to the floor, so it's like a floor shadow, right? And now drop your flow down to like 20-ish, and then paint a little shadow on the feet. Okay, little shadow on the feet. very small, just like that'll work. You can even use blending options on this if you want. Okay, very cool. And then underneath curry, we're gonna make a layer and just do the same thing. Very small shadow, nothing major, just like that. And then we're gonna use blending options one more time, my favorite tool, I swear. And right there, like that. And then on the inside, it's gonna be a little bit darker, so I'm just gonna go all the way down. What the heck? And make this shadow a little bit darker all the way down. So yeah, guys, here we go. There is our NBA mini tutorial. You guys can add whatever CCs you want to add or whatever like that. I know you guys are obsessed with CCs, so you can add whatever color corrections you would like to add after the fact of doing this. But that is a simple tutorial, a simple way how to do NBA minis. Shout out to the people that are leading the NBA minis wave. You guys are doing some dope stuff, and I'm happy to bring my perspective and help you guys if you guys want to make some. So with that being said, man, that's gonna wrap up the video for today. If you guys are new, make sure you guys drop a like, sub up to the channel, and if you guys are not in the Discord chat yet, what are you waiting for? Like, what are you waiting for, man? But with that being said, it's been calsoscoped. Stay scope, fam, and stay tuned for next episode where I'm going to meet